Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Steve Parsons in first. Trail Dust, what's up? Transcendental Artist Studios, Robert Lonis, Mick Chu, Paul Orchard. How y'all doing? What's up? Oh, and I suppose I should recognize that Ben's here. Okay. Most chats per capita. How y'all doing? Hope you guys are, staying cool. The heat has been insane. Definitely be talking about that. With me, we have the co-hosts, the Impractical Blacksmiths group. We've got Sully, and we've got Adam. How y'all doing? How was y'all's week?
Hola.
Hold on. I want to hear, Sully, how was your week? Because I know
All right.
Adam's got a ton.
Okay, yeah. So my week was fairly busy. Maybe just short of 2.5 times a normal work week, and I still had 2 days off. I don't know. Yeah, 90 hours, and I had 2 days off this week, or 2 days I didn't work. So that was it. It was a tough one, and I managed to edit and upload almost all of the episodes of the podcast that I was behind, except for one. I'm a week behind. That one will be coming up this week. But other than that, that's pretty much been my week. All I did was work and sleep, and but I do have some interesting tidbits that I was going to throw in my little intro monologue here. What happened today in history? These are always seem to be fun. At least I find them fascinating. Today in 1917, Mata Harris's trial began. She was accused of spying for Germany and was subsequently found guilty and put to death by firing squad. Some random birthdays today are Jennifer Lopez, Barry Bonds, Carl Malone, and Amelia Earhart. In 2020, Regis Philbin passed away on this day. And also in 2005, or no, that was, yeah. In 2005, Lance Armstrong became the first rider to win the Tour de France 7 times, prior to them taking all that away from him when they found out he was cheating the whole time. In
Not wonder.
1998, Saving Private Ryan was released. In 1974, the Supreme Court ruled that Richard Nixon had to provide transcripts of the Watergate tapes to the special prosecutor. In 1846, Brigham Young and his fellow Mormons arrived in Salt Lake City. And in 1567, Mary, Queen of Scots, was removed from power and forced to abdicate to her 1-year-old son, James. That's all the interesting bits of history that I have for the day. And let's move it on over to Adam.
Hello. How are we all today? Yeah, my week. So for those of you that aren't subscribers of mine, I released my first video in about just over 12 months. The other day, on Thursday, or I think it was Friday, no, Thursday evening, which we're doing Thursday morning for you guys in the US. So that was something new. Wasn't filmed at my new home. How it was filmed at a festival I was at. But a little bit of it was filmed at my new place. But the intro and the outro were all filmed here. But so that was some hurricane lantern hangers. So it was a different spin on your regular drive hooks. I made them up for my upcoming wedding because they're using the hurricane lanterns in order to burn citronella oil to keep the bugs away. Other than that, this week I have been very, very busy with an exciting new project. Now, I'm not going to give too much details away, other than it is pertinent to what we're talking about tonight. In regards to books. No, I'm not writing a book, but I'm doing something with a book. But also, it's going to take me a little bit of a while to do because it's a lot of work I'm putting into it, but it's going to be something that's going to benefit, in my opinion, or my belief, it's going to be benefiting the blacksmith community as a whole, not only just for those people that that are are dedicated to furthering the craft, but also for those of us I know across the world, particularly those people in developing nations, don't always have the best access or best ability to read or have access to books. So, and then a lot of stuff comes from online. So this will, and particularly, maybe able to read and comprehend English. And a lot of people, I know there are a lot of people out there that might not have the best literacy. So this is a project that a passion project for me going forward that that will help benefit particularly that section of the blacksmithing community. So yeah, so I hope I get at least the first part of it done the next couple of weeks so that I can put that out there and yeah, basically put it this way, these guys here, Alex and Yamez both know what I'm up to.
Mhm.
And they think it's a great idea. So fingers crossed, the rest of the community takes it just as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out. I will let you know when I get everything, all my T's crossed and I's dotted. I'll let you everyone know so you can check it out. And probably I'm sure there will be a lot of trolls out there that will berate me. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Trolls be trolling.
They see me trolling. They hating.
Now I just think white. Now I just think of Weird Al Yankovic and White and Nerdy.
Yeah. And that applies to you
Like
too.
nerdy.
See, and every time I hear that, I think of a Ned parody that's it was called Red and Dirty, talking about being a redneck or whatever.
Yeah.
They see me bowling.
My front lawn. But all right, yeah, my day has been consistent of sitting on this couch. So was yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. Week's been hot, and I know everywhere's been hot. For anybody to say, "Oh, it's hot," everybody goes, "No, duh," except for Ab.
I think he's soft. I think it's not that hot.
I'm melted this week. No, I very likely this week. I had some instances where it got pretty dangerous. My Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday consisted of digging trenches and working outside and all that stuff. Our heat indexes have been, well into the triple digits, not like, just touching the triple digits, like, 106 to 112 average for this week. And yeah, a few times I stopped sweating and had to stop work and get out of the heat. But yeah, it's been a brutal week, and so this Saturday, yesterday, I had all these shop plans, but I was just too worn out. So I did some inside work. I photographed and edited a bunch of my work, my pieces, that I would be, uploading to the blockchain. I know you guys don't care about crypto, but yeah, I actually made a couple sales doing that, and yeah, I'll share some of the pictures in the Island Metal Forge chat Discord group here in a sec. But yeah, very fun stuff. I got a lot of people loving the new edited pictures, and I think it's going to be the way I'm going to display my work from here on out, rather than just taking a picture of it, holding in my hand or whatever. But yeah, the heat has prevented me from doing what I wanted to get done. So hopefully that breaks soon. As much as I love summer and love the heat and everything, I prefer it if I'm able to be out on a kayak in the water or sitting at the beach, but can't do that. Gotta keep churning. So I can't wait for September and October when it starts to cool down and I can actually get out and be super productive. Not just productive, but super productive. But that's a topic in and of itself. Productivity compared to the heat index and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's been my week. Just a brutal assault every time I walk outside. Just get slapped in the face with a wet towel. It's the appropriate way I can say it. What was that?
I said that's better than a wet noodle, right?
Right. I have some colorful expressions for what it's like, but I can't say them on this family-friendly channel.
Or a wet fish.
Yeah. Let's go with that. But I'm trying to pull up them pictures right now to post. So yeah. How's the chat doing? How y'all doing there? Hello to all the people. Eric, what's up? Hubcap, how you doing? Curtis Lee, what's up? What's up? What's up? Jack Pines, good to see you. Yeah. But yeah, let's see how you guys are doing. Yeah, Sully's got a green screen. All right. I am
Talking about this is seriously my room.
Sully's just escaping the Matrix.
Yeah, I went to my my Discord camera options to see about something. I don't remember what I was going to check, and yeah, and then I noticed change your background, and I was like, oh, that's neat. Upload your own because I do have Nitro, so I can create my own custom background. And I was like, huh, I didn't even know that was an option. I'm definitely going to have to try that out. But I don't have one made up, so this is one of the options that came with it. So instead of everybody just sitting here looking at my bed behind me and my shoes on the floor and my clothes over here on the left, it's like there we go.
Yeah.
No one's noticed a change in my office at the moment. I hung curtains this week too.
No change here.
That's because you're boring.
Yeah, I'm super boring. Well, I uploaded them pictures to the Forge chat, and I know that for the podcast they can't really see, but they really should join the Forge chat Discord server so they can check them out. But found something fun to do with my images. Just a little bit of editing magic, and my Moabos are now going to be the faces of magazines and stuff like that. The
iron one's rather clever.
Right?
I like that one.
Yeah.
It actually, like that, it reminds me of an Easter Island head.
Yeah. The tentacle bottle openers, freaking jellyfish.
Here's another idea. You could put the Moabo as the face in the picture screen. Just superimpose it over the actual head in screen. Right.
And be like, actually get a cover of Time magazine and just make it the face. Well, reason I kind of make them prominent, make the and this goes into a different topic altogether. Marketing. This is not just a neat picture. This is to display the work, so it needs to be kind of prominent. And to make the picture have a little bit of pop rather than just being something that's in my hand. Like these images you could see as a cover for a book, for example.
Here, actually, before we segue into that, I just saw that other picture that you had there. You know, the face of the generation or whatever it was for iron. Now, in the research that I've been doing for the project that I've gotten on the side, I come across an interesting theory. Now, this is like a little bit of a segue, but it also ties into some of the conversations we've had here on the Impractical Blacksmith podcast about metals and stuff like that, and specifically with bronze. Now, ancient Egypt, right? There's a lot of talk about how, and it's in, you know, you hear it in the aliens podcast and all that type of stuff, and lost technology and stuff like that, about how they cut these massive pieces of granite and all that stone in order to move it to you know, the pyramids and create all these stuff out of. I now have a working theory. Okay, so if you hear me out for a second, I'll explain it. Okay, just a second. Let me. So my working theory is, and I'm gonna put it across to you guys as well, so that you guys can join in and we can come to the same conclusion whilst I'm talking about it. What is the melting point of bronze?
Oh, I don't know. 7?
Well, that is that can vary because bronze isn't a hard and fast
Yeah,
alloy. So depending on the alloying components and the amounts of each, there's probably a fairly
a
wide range of.
range. Yeah. Okay, but okay, so for general purposes, we'll say that the melting point of bronze is generally around 900 degrees Celsius. What exactly that is in Fahrenheit, I'm not sure. Sally, you'll have to find it out
Lots.
for me, right? Um, okay, so here's the funny thing, right? The burning point of diamond, okay, is around 900 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, of course, we know diamond's the hardest thing on the planet. It's used in saws and stuff like that. So you couldn't cast diamond into a bronze circular saw, for example, because it would burn. Right. However, the hardness of granite is 6 on the Mohs scale. Right. Now, and this is, now I'm not a Christian, but I'm going to get into some Christian theology here. Now, according to the Christian Bible, the 10 most precious stones that were said to have been contained in Eden were beryl, carbuncle, diamond, emerald, jasper, onyx, sapphire, carnelian, which is also ruby, and topaz. Sorry, the 9. Okay. Now, of those, diamond burns at 900 degrees, emerald breaks down at 454, right? And jasper breaks down around 600. Okay. The remaining ones, right? Jasper also isn't hard enough to cut through. But the remaining ones, for example, beryl has a burning temperature of 7.5 to 8. 1600 to 1625 degrees Celsius, and a hardness of 7.5 to 8. So my standing theory, it is conceivable that the ancient Egyptians, the ancient bronze workers in general, could have actually embedded hard, precious, semi-precious stones, like, for example, garnet, which garnet, of course, has a hardness of 6.5 and 7, and has a burning temperature of 1250 degrees Celsius. Right? They could have embedded these diamonds in drill bits and circular saw blades way back in ancient Egyptian times, which would have then helped cut the lines that people say are impossible in granite.
Interesting.
Now
Interesting
this is the
take
type
on
of
it.
thing. Yeah, this is the type of thing that like kind of just that's I've come across whilst researching for this book project I've done. But on that note, books.
One sec. I do want to address a question. Jack Pines asked, the one on the iron, the image, the skull, looks like carved wood grain. How did you get that texture? They answered in chat a little bit, but yeah, it's wrought iron that I forged, and then I threw it in a bucket of ferric chloride acid for about 12 hours, and it etched it nice and deep, giving that beautiful wood grain. If you go a little bit shorter, you'll get a pattern of like a wood grain pattern that's not really deep, but there. But you go overnight, you can turn something steel into make it look like wood. I do that a lot. That's one of the reasons I love wrought iron. So yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Hey, you're right. So I was just going to say, so today's tool of the week, what we were discussing before chat, and something that, you know, of course, I've kind of been working on, is books. So books are today's tool of the week. Now, everyone, of course, knows the Impractical Blacksmith. I mean, sorry, the Practical Blacksmith. A little bit of a throw over to our podcast here. But you know, books like these are, you know, we've all got a copy of varying ages and varying levels of newness. I did notice that I think it was Paul said he found a copy in Melbourne the other week, a hard copy. I ordered mine online and got mine sent over from Europe.
It's pronounced Melbourne.
Melbourne. Hey, Melbourne, US might be pronounced Melbourne, but Melbourne, Australia is pronounced Melbourne, right? And if you really want some good trivia, right, the original name of it was actually supposed to be Batman's Hill, right, or Batmania. And I don't lie, you can look that up. But yeah, so we're all, you know, one of the things, particularly regarding these old books. We're all, you know, passionate about the pursuit of knowledge regarding blacksmithing here, and a great way to particularly touch on the waters of that is with books. Now, particularly in the last 15, 20 years, you know, there have been more and more books produced by more and more people regarding the art of blacksmithing, and I personally think that having as many of those in your toolkit, my toolkit is my bookshelf, is really handy, because, you know, there's always more than one way to skin a cat, and sometimes a technique might not work for me, but I'll go look it up in a you know, how to do something in a different book, and that one will work for me. So, you know, I think it's important to have as many books as possible, but I'm also a bit of a bibliophile. The reason why my book looks so brand new for the Practical Blacksmith is it doesn't leave the office. I read it in here and then put it away and go out and do what I'm doing.
Bibliophile. I like libraries too. No, that's librarians. Never mind.
No one's got anything to say. Yeah, you're a librarianophile.
You know, it's funny though. We were talking about this before the show. People are saying, "I didn't know I had to read to do this thing." You know, or what's a book? You know, there isn't a general lack currently, wink, of audiobooks for blacksmiths. Because, I mean, you know, sure, you could put on a podcast, you know, like the Impractical Blacksmiths, and hear us, you know, go on about awesome stuff. But, you know, there you go. Audiobooks for blacksmiths. Maybe there's a niche.
Okay, so now Yamas has blown it.
No, I
thanks,
haven't.
Yamas. You
No,
have.
I haven't.
You put the idea out there, so, you know, I'm not really in competition, but the project I've got is I'm currently trying to record a audio book for blacksmiths. So yeah, thanks, Yamas. But yeah, so hopefully within the next couple of months that will be out. All fully recorded and easy to listen to. Yeah, but
you've already got nobody's going to steal your idea. A, that's such a huge undertaking, and B, you know, you're so far ahead of everybody on it. So
I wouldn't say that.
Trust me, from experience, you know, being the first and ahead, you get so many copycats coming up, and you know, you'll be the first and you'll be the best. And
Matt, so I was just going to answer a question. Matt, on the topic of what hardness scale, so that's a Mohs hardness scale, MOHS. It's the one where diamond is generally the hardest material, and it's a scratch one. So diamond can scratch diamond, and everything else, you know, depending on how hard something is whether it can scratch diamond or not, or the things below it.
I was going to make
Yeah.
a joke about, not only being the first for audiobooks for Blacksmiths, but and being the best, but also said he got the benefit of having the voice for it. And as I said before, just light some candles, turn the lights down low, put on the audiobook, and just make it a night.
What's that song? Put the book on, turn the lights down low.
So yeah, absolutely.
There goes the copyright strike. Thank you very much.
But no, books. Books
Sully,
are
don't
fantastic.
you dare turn that into a meme.
Yep. Sully's got the ability
He's got
to pull the audio and make it a thing.
Yes.
I literally just dropped out my internet for the last 10 seconds. I have no idea what you're talking about. Everybody froze, and I'm just like, hello, did I lose my internet? And then it came back to, Sully, don't make that into a meme. I'm like, oh, man.
No, but you're the one who edits everything, so you're gonna come across that later on when you're editing this episode, right? And then you're gonna do it. So this is gonna be a neat meme for next show.
Yeah.
So some of the examples of the books that I have personally, just looking over at my bookshelf, I've got Practical Blacksmithing. I've also got the Home Blacksmith, the Blacksmith Craft. What else have I got? The Complete Modern Blacksmith, Backyard Blacksmith, a Blacksmithing Primer. They're just the ones that I have on hand with me that that I can see at a quick cursory glance.
The Home Blacksmith or the Blacksmiths Cookbook?
I have the Home Blacksmith. I just said that. Didn't you hear me?
No.
I have the Home Blacksmith.
I heard you say the Backyard Blacksmith.
I've got that too. I don't have the Blacksmith Cookbook. I want the Blacksmith Cookbook. I really, really want it. Oh, hang on, wait. When was that first printed there, Yamis?
I will say, the conversation that you started about all that, mixing and ancient metallurgy and such, has just blown up in the chat.
Has it?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Let me jump out of the chat and have a look.
To the point where, you know what? Let's do this, guys. Next week, that is going to be the topic. Okay. Is
ancient metallurgy?
Ancient metallurgy. Not and we'll delve not just into fact, but also possibilities. Because, Matt brought up a good point in the chat saying, there's no evidence. However, the lack of evidence does not prove that it didn't happen. I'm just saying.
You can't prove a negative.
You can't prove a negative. So, which I love alternate history, fiction. I read an awesome one. Again, books. I read an awesome book in the past of the alternate history of the United States and where it would be, blah, blah, blah. This happened, that happened. It's fascinating stuff. So we can have fun with that, in hypotheticals with ancient metallurgy and as possible explanations for modern day phenomena. Things that we find from ancient times that we now go home and do it. But yeah, so there's that. Matt Waith, will it be a live stream where you smelt your own steel? We've done that.
But you can't do it next week.
Oh, we'll do it the week after.
Yeah, I was gonna say I won't be here, but the week after. Okay, so the week after we might have a special guest.
Right.
Right.
I've still got to absolutely clear it.
All right. Whatever.
We've got a jam-packed month coming up. Come on.
Yeah, we do have an extremely busy month.
Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. But this topic of ancient, potential ancient technology. I mean, guys, look at it this way. We discussed on the Metal of the Week regarding iron and just how far back ironworking goes. So it was, people started working iron in the middle of the Bronze Age. So this topic we can easily cover because it's like they've only just discovered, relatively recently, just how far back ironworking actually goes. So all things in the realms of possibility. There's more than a 0% chance that happened. So it's a possibility. So anyway. So we'll cover that next
Yeah.
week. But at the moment, look, this whole idea actually come out of the book. It come out of Practical Blacksmithing. There, if you've read it, if you've actually read it cover to cover like I have, like I said, I'm a bit of a bibliophile. This actually contains from the 1880s about a blacksmith that traveled to Egypt, and he was the one that posited this theory, not me. So it was like I said, it's come from reading and reading, particularly these old tomes. And I call this a tome because it's more than that. It's the thick of the Bible. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a good attitude adjuster too. It would be really nice to actually be able to get a spare one of these because I'd love to be able to forge something with the Practical Blacksmith, but I'm not going to damage this book.
Right.
Question. Matt asked, Matt Waith, if it's a stream where all three of you do a smelt at the same time and we get to see the results. What do you mean by a smelt? Because a smelt is when you separate metals in its liquid state, like you separate copper from silver, stuff like that.
I believe he's thinking of bloom.
Purifying metal.
Yeah.
I believe he's thinking of a bloom.
Huh?
I believe he's thinking of a bloom.
Yeah. Doing a bloom. Yeah. Look, here's the thing there, Matt.
We haven't done that and failed miserably every time, have we?
Well,
hey, you haven't had the Aussie touch. Here's the thing, Matt. Eventually, when I make it to the US, which all going well and in an ideal world will be around next September, fingers crossed. I would love. I've already organised to catch up with these guys separately. So if we manage to have the time at Quad State, it would be something that I would love to do, or even after Quad State or before Quad State. It would be something I'd love to do with these guys to do that smelt or something like that, because that will be the first time we actually meet face to face in the flesh.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Now, I would say on some of our previous attempts at blooms, in some instances, I do believe they were rushed. To cause some of the failures that we've had. I believe they were, we attempted them too quick. There was no particular stated organization of whose job it is to do what, and so many hands and so many, there was no bloom master. John Coffey built it and did it, and then everybody wanted to have a say in how it was going to happen. And I do believe that had everybody just shut up and we just took the time and did it right, we would have had much more success. So organizing a bloom is, because it takes hours and hours and hours and hours, just to set it up, and then hours to actually do it. So a full bloom live stream, it'd basically be...
The cook alone is almost like 12 hours.
Yeah, a full bloom live stream would be difficult. That'd basically be set up a camera in the corner and just have it running and ignore it, and people can just check in to see our process.
I was gonna say there's another option. We start off a one person's channel, and because we know roughly how long it takes to do a bloom ish. So we go at the start of the bloom. We have it on one person's channel live stream, and then during the midway point we go live on another person's channel and do a midway update, and then at the end when we go and crack the bloomery open, we can do it on the third person channel and go, yay, we suck.
Yeah. But no, I've had I actually read about it in a book. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 some techniques for doing a reusable bloom furnace, whatever it's called. I can't think of it. But yeah, actually casting segments of the chimney for chimney crickets. Casting segments of the chimney and in like a casing with like a snap thing, and then you just take those and you stack them up, and then you make one for the bottom, and that's the one that you would break. So
I'm formulating a plan here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, would you be able to do that bloomery on your block?
On my what?
On your property?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Sally, how much time would you be able to take off just leading up to September? because my plan has me landing in Dallas.
This year? Are you coming this year?
No, this year, next year.
No, not this year, next year.
I can take off as much time as I can afford to take off. That's the basic gist of that.
And in just over a year from now, that may be quite a bit of time.
Good.
What?
Yeah. Well, because I'm thinking what we could do, right? And this is just pipe dreams at the moment. But what we could do is, like I said, I fly into Dallas Fort Worth or wherever I can get a flight to from Australia, right? But I know I'm flying into Texas. Reason being is because my first stop was intending on being Donut. But if I fly in, I come and collect Sally, and then Sally can be my co-pilot for the trip around. So take a couple of weeks and go see some people on the way around, and then when we get to your place, Mez, and then we can spend a couple of days there, do a bloomery, whatnot, and then we can all leave together and go up the Quad State.
Yeah. I would
Sounds like fun.
I would absolutely need to get several bags for my idea for the bloom. I would need several bags of castable refractory, some and build some forms and to do it the way I would like to do it, segmented and reusable.
Yep. Well, that's it. Yeah, but like I said, at the moment, there, guys, before anyone in the chat gets too excited, this is just a pipe dream. This was just an idea. These happen to me. Sometimes I get brief flashes of inspiration. It's like menopause. It comes and goes. but yeah. So I get these brief flashes of inspiration where it's a great idea, and it may not work out for logistical reasons, but I thought it was a good idea just to put out there, and particularly because today is such a conversational show, and and when it comes to what today's topic, being books, we've all got books that deal with bloomery, so we can research it over the next 12 months.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be. What's that say?
It's backwards for me, but
it is. It is backwards.
In my screen, it's mirrored, so I can read it perfectly.
No, it's backwards to me.
Then what you need to do is write it backwards.
I did write it backwards.
Write it mirrored.
No, that's what I did. It's written backwards on the piece of paper. That's why I held it up and I was like, "Oh, I got it right."
Okay.
Because because I look at it in the screen, it's read correctly.
Be right back.
The video that goes out is not mirrored.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say when you wrote one earlier and then scrunched it up, that read correctly.
Right. Yeah, and I read that one mirrored. I was like, crap.
Yeah, Ben, that would be helpful. Sorry, I just read in the chat. Ben is offering some iron singing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, if anybody would like, if anybody over the next year would like to have a hand in that, y'all have my PO boxes in the descriptions of my videos and my all that stuff. Feel free to send some nuggets to toss in there, so to speak, and yeah, I'll compile a list and all that fun stuff. But
no worries, Matt. Thanks for coming there, bud.
Yep. See you, Matt.
Adios, Matt.
But yeah, no, and we can do some tamahagane type, particularly black iron sand or something like that. But no, that would be really cool, particularly if we were able to, actually, it would be really cool if we were able to actually do a smelt and make even a small ingot, a small puck of a bloom, right? And then we send it to Roy to actually make something with it so that we don't screw it up.
Right. Absolutely, anyway. Paul. Send me gold.
There you go.
Paul, you can send me gold, mate. Anytime.
No. He said preferably gold and then said the name Yamets. So he was being super specific.
Yeah. He was saying preferably he would want Yamas to send me all of this gold.
See, it's because he's Aussie, and the Aussie whole convict thing. Thieves don't trust thieves, I guess. Well, here's what it is.
Go grab some prawns.
Oh boy! Don't start. Don't you start. Don't start. I've got a nice heavy book here that has that will have your name written on it.
Bam. Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I'm interested. Trying to get back on the topic. We're going to segue back into the topic here.
Well, that's the beauty of this type of topic, is it can go anywhere because books are about all sorts of things.
Everything. Yeah. I'm interested to know hang on now. I'll learn to speak English one day. Good thing I speak Australian. I'm bad at that. I want to know what each person in the chat, what their favorite blacksmithing book is, apart from Practical Blacksmithing, because we all know that is kind of the Bible. So, what is your favorite blacksmithing book outside of Practical Blacksmithing?
It's pronounced Bibley.
Bibley.
Yeah. Bible.
It's the Bibley. Yeah.
Bibley.
Bibley.
Mine is actually the Blacksmiths Cookbook. I freaking love this thing. It's got freaking all sorts of tables, so from somebody who reads the NSC code book, descriptive and specific dimensional. All right, so for example, let me try to find an example. It's so hard to flip through this one because it's tabbed. It's got tables on, they call them recipes for, if you're doing something with 1/2 inch round, and you want to upscale or downscale it, say with like hot collars, it has, a table for if the length of a hot collar, a piece to make a hot collar for 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, and all the various, different measurements. So it's a great reference book to speed up the math process of trying to so you don't have to sit there and every single piece measure it.
Just to let you know, I'm shamelessly writing down all the favorite books that you guys have, because these are going to be added to my collection at some stage.
Right. Mark Asprey's Volume 1. Bill Corey. The Mark Asprey volumes are the lesson plans that my guild uses. So I'm fairly familiar with them. I have one that Chandler Dickens was working through, someone called Lord London. Don't remember the author correctly. Ben Toon says Blacksmith's Manual Illustrated. I got it backwards. Yeah, from Dan Moss that they use in their colleges. Is Dan Moss, I can't read that name. Dan Lee Moose, is he the author of that?
Yeah, no.
I didn't think so. I'm sorry. My bias is showing. Yeah, Ben, you would need an illustrated book.
Hey, I need an illustrated book.
Just kidding.
I can't read the book, but I can throw it.
The only blacksmithing book I have is the Impractical Blacksmithing.
You do it too.
It's hard not to.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
but no, I really like the books, the type of books that have, because I like the books that have the technical information and
Like pop-up books.
pop-up books. The technical information. Because it's like if I'm like it's like I can think of a design in my head, but if there's a technical aspect to it, I'm not an engineer. So it's like I'd like to flip through a reference book, snatch up some measurements or a quick refresher on a procedure or a technique, and follow through with it. Go from there. Whereas yeah. So most of my books are they have that technical information.
Yeah, and Jack, the Complete Modern Blacksmith is a great book. I actually did a review on it years ago on my YouTube channel. It is a great book. It's a little, it's very practical in how it is laid out from memory, in the sense of, it doesn't go much into more. From memory, it's a very step by step. You start off with an easy project, moving into a harder project, moving into a harder project, and it's good in that sense. But yeah, I encourage you to expand your library, because it's going to give you a lot more ideas on other things to do as well. Most of these books you aren't going to read like a novel. I'm just a weirdo.
I did the same thing. I read Practical Blacksmithing cover to cover. I didn't, just like go look at this, flip, go look. I just read it like I read a book.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't do that with blacksmithing books, because they are technical books. It's just because this is such a passion in my life that I ferociously devour anything to do with it. So I talked the ear off a 14-year-old kid the other day about blacksmithing, because he wanted to come and do some lessons. And that was kind of like, ooh, I picked them. I just unloaded on him for about 20 minutes. The kid was good about it. He was just excited as I was, but that's just what I am.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I was only joking. I was only joking about Ben needing, books with pictures and stuff. And Matt, you brought up the point, an illustrated book is perfect for, a blacksmith. And you're absolutely right, because sometimes seeing it when you try and frame it is just as important as reading it. So yeah, I was only messing with Ben. It's just what I do.
Hey, and at the end of the day, that's why we're YouTubers, because sometimes watching a video on how to do something is that little bit extra of just looking at pictures of it.
Exactly.
But yeah, and that comes back to that point there, Matt. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this audio book, because there are, sometimes there are descriptions, and being able to, it's doing this audio book will be able to, that if for those that can't read, or can't read English, or have access to pictures but don't have access to the explanation. I'll be able to do an audio book on the audio book I'm doing, and you'll be able to listen to descriptions with my sultry tones to be able to hear the explanation as opposed to see it. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing it, and that way, But if you can't, like my copy of the Practical Blacksmith cost me, I think it was like 120 Australian, which is about $80 US. Mine is a hardcover, and that's pretty much on target. But I know there's a lot of people out there that can't afford that. So if you can spend $5 on an audio book as opposed to $80 on an actual book, and a lot of people have phones and stuff nowadays, so you can download all that type of thing onto it.
Right. Ben, you need a lot more than a hug. But yeah, Jack Pines, there are plenty of books out there that have pictorials and measurements. For a lot of them, measurements aren't the primary, because you scale everything up or down, or measurements are kind of arbitrary when doing a lot of things with, with steel, because what's to say take for example a 1-inch taper being needed versus a 2-inch taper. It all depends on what you're doing. So and I don't mean like a drive hook requires a 1-inch taper versus a 2-inch taper. It's arbitrary on most artistic designs. So that's why a lot of books kind of say, well, do this, do that, do this, and they don't give specific measurements unless it's a tool that requires specific measurements. It's not really, it's all arbitrary, in my opinion. So.
No, that's a good point. But I mean, there are certain things that do require relatively specific measurements. If you're putting a collar around a 2-inch bar, then So but having those measurements and standing on the shoulders of giants that have already done it, rather than trying to do the math yourself.
Yeah, hence the reason. Hence the reason I'm trying to find the page. I keep getting distracted. Hence the reason I really like the Blacksmiths Cookbook is because it has a table specifically for hot collars, and with its measurements. I'm trying to find it if somebody wants to cover the talking points.
Okay, so BC said A Backyard Blacksmith by Loreli Sims. That's a good book. I have that myself. Another one that I reviewed a couple of years ago. I've actually, for those of you that are interested on the reviews that I've done, they are on my YouTube channel. You can look at them. I did a short series on blacksmithing books for beginners. Not that I'm plugging myself here, but just so that you guys know where that is. Robert Lonis, you have been reading all three of Mark Asprey's books, The Skill of the Blacksmith. They are a wealth of them. Can you tell, Robert, can you tell me the titles of those? Because I do want to know. I'm not sure what you got delivered there, Paul. That's right. The one that Chandler. Okay. You're talking about the blacksmith, the practical blacksmith. A blacksmith drawing book. And what's the name of that there, BC? Can you tell me? Can you say that as well? And yes, sorry, Yamis, you go.
I was going to say I found it's not exactly the hot collar thing, but an example of the level of detail that the Blacksmiths Cookbook goes into. One of the tables is slitting chisel edge length for drifted holes. It gives you the hole size you want to end up with, in decimals, fractions, etc., for round holes and square holes, and the size of the chisel length for that hole. So it's like it really detailed and really important stuff. That as a reference, you just keep in the shop or you keep on your phone or whatever. And it helps you with it. And then, for technique, that's an example of the math involved in, okay, what size do I need to make this size? But then there's in the technique way, I saw it for a second and pulled my finger out of it to hold it. It has a diagram for making tongs, for making bolt jaw tongs and whatnot, where it says three quarters of the way back, hit here, and it's got a drawing that says hit here, not here, and then hold it at a 40 degree angle, hit here, not here. It like literally, for lack of a better term, an idiot's guide to forging, with specific measurements and specific angles to hold things at. So very useful. That's why I love that book. So say that 3 times.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just writing these down so that because Matt just requested that we put these into the description. So what I'll do is I'll write these down and type them out and flick them over to you so that when this goes into your listings, it can be in the description for those people that decide to watch this later. But for those of you that are listening on the podcast later on, that's the reason why I'm also repeating the name. So if you're just listening, you can take it down. But
also, I will add them in the description of the podcast on when I publish it to Spotify. So if I can get that list, I will add those in the description as well.
Yeah, type it up and we'll toss it in the description of the video and the description of the podcast, and we'll toss it everywhere. We'll even toss it into, I believe, the Forge chat has a section for books. I think maybe it doesn't.
If it doesn't, it will soon.
Yeah. So absolutely, we might have to. Are you writing it down from what you're reading in the chat as well, there, Speargrass?
I am.
All right. For the record, Blacksmiths Cookbook is Forrest Whitaker. Francis Whitaker. Sorry, Forrest Whitaker's the actor. Francis Whitaker is the blacksmith. So, another note that I'd like to say about the Impractical Blacksmiths podcast, for those of you who follow it and those of you who download it, I just now had an idea for it. I'm going to talk to Solbert about that here after the show. But in addition to downloading each episode for your personal perusal, I just realized Spotify has a rating system. So if y'all go ahead and give Impractical Blacksmiths that 5-star rating, that glorious 5-star rating. It's like Alex has been putting so much work into it. I believe he literally spent from 6 a.m. Saturday morning to 6 a.m. Sunday morning working on it specifically for you guys. Okay, so at the editing desk for 24 straight hours, no breaks. I believe a colostomy bag was involved, a catheter.
All right, the embellishment's going a little far now.
Okay, I told you I have to be comic relief. You guys have the smarts. I've got the comic relief. If it's the only thing that I can provide to the group is something to laugh at, then so be it.
Can't believe that. Okay, so I've listened to a couple of episodes. I just tried to rate it and it won't let me rate it. But yeah, no, guys, seriously, go and rate on Spotify.
I was able to rate it right on the.
I've listened to up to episode 5. I'm a little bit behind, I know, but I'm 5 episodes behind. But that's just because I've been so busy. But yes, I'll be listening to more this week, and as soon as I do, I will rate it. Now, To rate it, what you can do is on your phone, you can either click on there, just below the Practical Blacksmithing, you've got a start that rating. You can click on the rating there, or you can click on the three dots that are just there. It takes you to another page where it goes. You can stop following, or you can rate or share.
Do not click stop follow.
No, just rate. Rate, and then share to your favorite social medias.
That is a dangerous button that shouldn't exist.
No, that's true.
If you click stop following, the world will implode. To click stop following is like dividing by 0.
That's right.
And that's what we've been trying to do. Is if I had a thought we're going to be part of a podcast, shouldn't someone read off the name and then the question? We did actually bring that up before we ever started the whole podcast thing. That was something I brought up. It's like, hey, you can't just like read off random comments or reply to comments without reading the question or the comment. You read the name of the person and the comment. And we've been better at it because we didn't used to do that at all. We used to just talk to the chat like we're having a conversation. And so we're better at it, but we're still missing it about 50% of the time. So I'm hoping this will gradually improve. Like I said, I realize we suck right now, but we're working on it, and we're trying to get better. So,
and
that's
fair,
one of the areas we need to improve.
To be fair, for this is a cross-platform. Actually, it's across 3 platforms if you think about it. To be a cross-platform medium, you can either listen to the podcast alone and get a good gist of what we're saying and what we're talking about, and be entertained and be informed and everything. You can join in like Trail Dust does. Join in and mute yourself in the Discord to listen in. Toss it on. I'm pretty sure what Trail Dust does is tosses it on the Discord and continues doing his work, so he can hear it without having to run YouTube. Or you can be in YouTube and being part of the chat. The main show is the show on YouTube. And if some of the idea would be that the podcast, people will be hyped up about the podcast and then want to jump into the show, into the YouTube chat and be a part of the show, or jump into the Discord chat and be a part of the show. So it's kind of like it all feeds off itself. And if we do miss one or two, like we are trying to get better at it, saying Paul Fontanini says the International Metal Design Annual Series are good for inspiration. 2018 has Claudio Botero in it. Some good information. So, yeah.
I was going to say, I've also been mulling over the idea of doing standalone episodes for the podcast as well.
I'm down for that.
Not sure how that's going to work timing-wise with everybody, but I think it'd be cool if we could record some stuff that's just for that medium. And then, we'd have to do some preparation and whatnot, but it seemed like a good idea when I thought about it the other night, and I thought I might run it by you guys.
Yeah, I'm down.
Bill Corey, you said I was mistaken. The page did have the measurement for the hacksaw, just some were wrong. What was the name of that book that you're referring to? Was that just the Blacksmith drawing book, or does it have a specific name and author? Because I'd really love to put that into the chat as well, and I'd like to go looking. Like I said, I'm shamelessly writing these down, and not only just so we can put them in the descriptions, but because I want a copy of these books as well. These are going on my wish list that I will buy over time. Like I said, I'm a dedicated bibliophile. I've had to sell about 8 bookcases worth of books over the course of my lifetime because I've had to move, and it's broken my heart every time. And I'm currently now that I own my own house, I'm currently in the rebuilding stage to build my library again. So this is going to be a lifetime project. I'm going to have a library, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Paul, that's exactly, or when Paul is Stephen Parsons said, just saying that for people who are listening to the podcast, they don't want to come to YouTube. Yeah. That's the point of that is the point of us reading the the comment and the commenter is because since there's no visual medium, it doesn't us just replying to a comment makes no sense when there's no visual medium, when it's just an audio clip. So that's why that was kind of the point in the podcast, so that what we're replying to has context.
Yes.
But also we have to balance that there, Steve, with the fact that some people might not want to. If you listen to other podcasts, they'll say a commenter or a someone commented this on a post that we put on whatever social media and la 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 for privacy reasons as well. Now, of course, it's general disclaimer for us that if you come over on the onto the YouTubes and leave a comment, it's going to be relatively public. But particularly if we go down the track of what Sally was saying about some standalone episodes for the podcast, that might be an option that we won't be able to do. In particularly when we start getting into, when we start receiving listener emails and all that type of stuff, they might not want to be identified. So just bear in mind that is a future. If you don't want to be, if you do send us email, don't want to be identified, just say it. We won't bring up who you are.
Yeah.
Of course, unless you're being a fool, and then of course we go to name and shaming.
Yeah.
Well,
And
anyway.
I have received no emails in the Island Metal Forge at gmail.com for the Impractical Blacksmiths podcast. I don't know if we have yet a Impractical Blacksmiths at ... .com, yet an email specifically for the show, for the podcast. But also our Metal of the Week suggestions Discord has kind of been hijacked. Anytime somebody posts a question of the Metal of the Week, somebody hops in there and just goes off on it, describes it, and, it's like, well, okay.
No, we don't have to cover that.
Yeah, but we do have a Metal of the Week section for people to suggest. We have a Metal of the Week section for people to suggest topics for the show.
Yes.
Yeah. And I might change it from Metal of the Week. I might change that to topic suggestions, so that it's very obvious that it's a suggestion page and not a let's discuss this here page.
Right. Hey, and Ben, you can do this thing. It's called silencing notifications or disallowing notifications. Like, I don't have Discord notifications turned on. I don't know what's going on in Discord until I open it and go check myself. And so, because I don't need to hear that ding ding or whatever the heck the noise is.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm right there.
that's in fact, I do that with all the social media apps or whatever. Is I don't have notifications turned on for any of them. I don't need notifications. I don't care what somebody said or what somebody posted. I will see it when I log in because I've got nothing else to do. Other than that, I don't need my phone to tell me something just happened or somebody just said something.
Right.
That's right. So on that note, thanks for joining us. You can find if you'd like to see more, you can find Yames on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find Alex, Transcendental Arthur Studios, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And you find me, Adam, Speargrass Forge, on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget, if you have any suggestions for the tool of the week or the topic of the week, you can drop it in that link in the Discord that Yames just showed you, under the hashtag Middle of the Week or hashtag topics for the show. If you eventually change it, it's in the YouTube community chat on Discord, or you can email us at islandmetalforge@gmail.com. And if you don't want to be identified, just let us know. We won't. If you have found us on Spotify or Anchor or your favorite podcast provider, we generally try to upload every Wednesday, or you can join us live every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's currently 11:30 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time, but check against your local time to be exact. And that, of course, is the Island Metal Forge YouTube channel where you can find us live and join us in person. You can also join us in the Discord chat, just like some of our wonderful subscribers do. Mute yourself in the chat and you can listen to us live. And finally, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We really do appreciate your support. And if you decided to give us any super chats, of course, they go straight back into the production of the Impractical Blacksmith podcast and Sunday morning gathering / Sunday morning church on YouTube. So with that, Alex, do you have any final words for this evening?
I did, and now I don't. Oh yeah. I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, hey, don't get out to your shop. Don't build anything. Don't light a fire. It's too dang hot. Stay inside in the air conditioner. Drink some iced tea, and just think about what you're gonna forge this winter. Other than that, y'all have a nice week, and uh, enjoy your day and enjoy your week. So it's be happy. See y'all next week.
Thank you all for being here. Big thanks to those of you in the chat who are participating. Huge thanks to the channel members who have that nice little green name in the icon. And as always, I obviously cannot do this alone. And I do not do this alone. I have Alex and Adam here with me. And I, say it every week, I couldn't do it without. They're fantastic, and everybody show them some love. Let's stay cool and be as productive as you can without, overheating. Tonight's stream at 6 p.m. Forging with Yamez is going to be a cold stream. It's going to be at the ground. Cold. It's still 112 degrees. It's going to be at the grinder. I'm going to be working on some doing some cold work on Damascus and stuff. Oh, stop it! And yeah, I'll be wearing a kilt, having a fan under me. So tune in for some sneak peeks.
And as for my final words, we have we have a saying in Australia, which is have a cup of concrete and harden it up, right? Get out there for it might be hot, but just remember when you're standing in front of 1,000-degree fire, it makes no difference to how hot it is outside. You're still going to be bloody hot. So get out there, make something, and challenge your creative juices.
Yeah,
of course, don't forget to drink lots of water and keep cool as well.
Yeah, we've got a saying here in America too. So bite me. So with that was actually my mom's favorite saying. With that, thank you all for watching. Much appreciated. I will see you guys all in a few hours. All right. Bye, everybody.
Cheers.